Welcome to the Government News Brief for Tuesday, January 26, 2016. In the news, police force successful in recent crime-fighting efforts, the Housing Department to fix faulty turnkey homes, and the head of state to lobby Guyana's position with the first world countries at the CELAC summit. With these and other stories, I am Azim Khan. Leaders of Latin American and Caribbean states are set to lobby their positions with first world countries at a meeting currently taking place. Guyana is being represented by President David Granger and Foreign Affairs Minister Carl Greenidge. Here's that report.
The eradication of extreme poverty, the environment, peace, terrorism, and the economy of the Latin American and the Caribbean regions are some of the main topics that will be discussed at the 4th Summit of Heads of State and the Government of the Community of Latin American and the Caribbean States currently taking place in Quito, Ecuador. The integration process between the Latin American and the Caribbean countries with group and other countries such as China, the European Union, Russia, South Korea, Turkey, and India will also be stressed at the summit. A meeting of the foreign ministers will take place on today and will see the negotiation of the documents to be adopted at the heads meeting. Guyana will be represented by His Excellency David Granger and Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge.
We have joined CELAC with a view to trying to ensure that the continued integration of the region includes, if you like, contributions by Guyana and for Guyana. So the challenge for us is to ensure that that our own goals are meshed with those that CELAC countries as a whole pursue. Of course, there's a quartet which oversees the work each year, and at the moment Barbados is one of the countries in that quartet. We've been close liaison with Barbados, and they're aware of the issues that concern us. So this is where we'll be focusing our attention to make sure that CARICOM issues are reflected in both in the action plan and the implementation of the various programs and initiatives that CELAC is supposed to have.
The last day of the summit will see the President of the Dominican Republic receiving the temporary presidency of CELAC from Ecuador's president. The Community of Latin American and the Caribbean States is the result of several multilateral established organizations led by Latin American countries to seek peace, socio-economic development, and the integration as a region.
The Guyana Police Force has recently been realizing successes in the crime fight. In this Paul McAdam report, you will hear the reasons for these successes.
The Guyana Police Force has had some notable successes in the crime fight recently. For Minister of Public Security Kemrat Ramjitan, these successes are possible due to several factors.
The fact that there is more training, especially in crime scene management, and also the confidence that is growing and must continue to increase of the communities that are being battered by the bandits, coming forward, these community members, to inform the police as to where and who are the perpetrators. Policemen can't solve any crime without a good relationship with the citizens of the country. And we didn't have that citizen, the situation where the citizen wanted to tell police. But that is now cracking up, and they are now telling the policemen who are the bad ones within the community, and immediately the police are going after them, and that is why we can catch them.
New techniques gained by police ranks through training with international partners have also boosted the crime fight. Government is also taking steps to improve working conditions for ranks.
That is, the police stations. Some of these police stations are in real bad shape. So their barrack rooms, I visited a couple, are in real bad shape. And even the washroom areas and so on. So we are going to try to rehabilitate. And of course, the Citizen Security Strengthening Program has monies for the rehabilitation of 18 police stations. And of course, we're going to have our local funding from the budget to do the other police stations and so on.
The Guyana Police Force has had positive results in solving several high-profile crimes over the last few months. Among these crimes were several murders and robberies, such as the one which occurred at the Bank of Baroda Monrepos branch recently.
Homeowners are set to get some relief as the housing department is moving to correct faulty houses. These houses were provided under the Turnkey Homes project. More in the Seneca Thorne report.
Beneficiaries of the Turnkey Homes project at Providence East Bank, Demerara, have been complaining for some time about the shabby work which was done on their houses. Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Valerie Sharp Patterson, has assured affected persons that all efforts will be made to correct faulty work.
If you bought a home, it's $4.9 million. It's not $100,000 house. Veranda fall off, front veranda loose, back veranda. One woman said to me her roof has about half a pound of Euroban. And that is what she inherited. And whose flooring is like seesaw, water coming into the home, going into their closets, and numerous cracks in the walls of these houses, some from the floor, some from the upper part. It's ridiculous. And you know what? Most of it has to do with the poor quality of materials used. So I met with these people this morning, and my projects team would be going out to check each and every one and bring a detailed report.
Some persons will have to be relocated due to the high level of damage on the structures in Providence.
Even though many of them have been living there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I think maybe up to 4 years, and the warranty period has expired. Because it's structural problems, we will have to do the repairs, the R&M. It's unfair to those people. Mind you, they're paying bank loans. If you see the crack, I mean, it's ridiculous. And so, apart from that, I'm seriously looking into who the contractors are that give us that poor quality bill. Let me just tell you this. I saw a photograph a couple brought, and you can clearly see how the veranda move away from the house. There is no steel. I'm not a construction person, but it's common sense that will tell you. You have to link the veranda to the house, to the building. It's steel.
The Turnkey Housing Project was one of several measures implemented by the Housing Department to facilitate easy access to homes for low-income earners. The houses cost some $4.9 million Ghana dollars, with the land costing $500,000. The Ministry of Communities will be putting mechanisms in place to ensure that the homes are brought up to standard before persons sign off on them.
Health officials continue to monitor and promote precautionary measures for H1N1 and Zika diseases. Here are the details.
10,000 doses of H1N1 vaccine have been procured as the Public Health Ministry continues to monitor emerging diseases in and around Guyana. According to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Shamdio Prasad, the ministry is working to stay on top of its game.
PAHO has assisted us with our vaccines throughout time, and I think we're almost, we have put an order through
10,000
doses.
Yeah.
So we're expecting them shortly, I understand. So there is always a benefit. PAHO is more than a partner, it's part of the ministry, how we work.
Well, I'm glad CMO did mention that 10,000 doses of for the vaccine has been imported. For some strange reason, when things happen, strange things also happen. The vaccine is all over, moving from place to place in the world. Now we are tracking it. Yes. But we hope, it's been shipped already, just that it's not reached here as yet. So we hope to soon get that.
About 120 people were vaccinated against the disease in 2009 when Guyana, like several other Caribbean states, suffered from a massive outbreak of the virus. This saw a great section of the population being immunized against the disease. However, the vulnerable population, primarily the elderly, is continuously being monitored for the disease. Port health officers are present at the Chedijakan International Airport, the Ogle International Airport, along with the Molson Creek Crossing, the Lethem Bridge, as well as Charity. These officers are monitoring these points for individuals traversing to Guyana who may exhibit signs of the illness. Symptoms of the H1N1 virus include coughing, fever, sore throat, body aches, and headaches. Meanwhile, the Vector Control Services has commenced fogging among several other preventative measures for the Zika virus countrywide.
Through the Vector Control Program, they've advised the other regions to commence their own vector control programs too, which includes fogging the more populated community. But there's lots of other work too when it comes to vector control. So the teams have started to do the house-to-house inspections too. This mosquito, this Aedes mosquito, is the one that we should target, and it's really a domestic mosquito. It's a pet almost that people harbor around their homes in all the water that they store, their black tanks, their little collection in containers, plants, in water, old tires, garbage, those kinds of things. So house inspection have commenced along the coast and even in some of the hinterland areas too, to try to reduce those breeding sites. In terms of the distribution of mosquito nets, we have commenced distributing the treated nets to pregnant mothers through the antenatal clinics, and they've started to distribute. I know Region 6, most of Region 4, 5, they've started to, even some of the private clinics where pregnant mothers go, we've offered them, and they've actually collected nets to give to their mothers too. So the recommendation is that all pregnant women should take precautions against bites, which includes sleeping under a net, but we understand that these Aedes mosquitoes bite sometimes outside of the sleeping period. They bite sometimes in the early evening and so on. So we are strongly recommending, other measures too, keeping your home free of mosquitoes, using protective clothing and repellents and so on that would prevent bites altogether.
Persons experiencing flu-like symptoms should visit the doctors as soon as possible. Citizens are urged to abstain from traveling to countries where the H1N1 and the Zika viruses are present unless it's absolutely necessary. For this government news brief, Glendon Greenwich reporting.
Guyana is offering a new kind of tourism as the country's terrain is natural for attracting tourists seeking adventure. Shanaza Low reports.
Guyana's terrain with its low coastal plains, the rolling highland and the savannas are ideal for hardcore tourism. This potential is recognized and will be maximized.
Guyana has great potential for the visitor who wants hard adventure. Biking is one area, hiking is another. Because a lot of our terrain is rugged. We have mountainous terrain, we have hills, and for example, if you take one resort, our Point Resort, there is a nature trail there which has good scope for biking.
The Rupununi Savannas also have great potential to offer tourists exciting activities. This is currently being focused on.
There's an entity called Visit Rupununi, which is looking at developing the attractions of the Rupununi, in growing and marketing the Rupununi tourism product, which is a vastly diverse product. Talking about landscapes, with birds, and fishes, Amerindian culture, foods, and a whole range of exciting opportunities.
All of what Guyana has to offer naturally will soon be accessible to interested tourists, which will also have economic benefits for all Guyanese. With this government news brief, I'm Shanaz Low reporting.
That has brought us to the end of the government news brief for Tuesday, January 26, 2016. All our programs are on our website. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. Remember to send us your Guyana Nice photo. Here is ours.